You can support the creation of these videos by supporting me at patreon.com/John D. Ruddy. I was there, man, when it all started. Following the hype, collecting all the merch, and getting Pokemon Blue for Christmas, and indeed, catching them all. I'm here to help you build your own Pokedex. What do I mean by that? We are going to draw every single Pokemon. Yes, there's over 1,000 of them now. We're going to do it. Not only will you learn to draw Pokemon, but you'll also learn loads of great skills for drawing cartoons and drawing people that you can bring into your own illustrations. You can start your collection with a ring binder and some Polly Pockets, or if you just want to draw, you'll need simple printer paper, a pencil, I prefer a HB or 2H because we're going to be rubbing these lines out later, an eraser, and some sort of pen or a fine tip liner, and indeed some colourful markers for the end product. Come along and join as we try to draw them all. Hello folks, so today we're going to be drawing Ho-Oh and Lugia. Yes, this is my original Pokemon Gold copy that I bought myself Easter weekend, what was it, 2001 or something? Them's were the days. Innocent times. So, first of all, we're going to do our quick draw. So, let's go. So with Ho-Oh, watch this. I'll start off with a big old beak. And then watch this, I'll loop it back in. Like that. And then down like that. And then back in. Watch this, watch this, watch this. Boom. Close it. We've got a beak. And then we've got a tongue. And then whoosh, it's 3D. And a little nostril. Now, big old angry eyes. At the top of Ho-Oh's head has all of these little, it's like a cockatrice. Got 4 of them. And then it's got a dark patch around the eyes. Now, for the body's going to be here. So, watch this. And then, where? Same on the other side. And then there's actually another layer of feathers. And indeed, if you go about like drawing an eagle or, you know, any kind of big bird like that, you will see that same kind of pattern on it. Draw a line across there. Now its legs. Legs are very much like the way that we drew Zapdos. And finally, the tail. So I mean, the tail's pretty much like just behind, but it's coming out from here, but just behind. So You got different feathers, and it's like a sun. All come out at different lengths. One that I don't think a quick draw does as much justice to. I think we'll have a much better time drawing the long one. And now to draw Lugia. So Lugia is weird and tricky. We'll start off with Lugia's head, okay? So the head, watch this. It's like that. It's like the moon. You know? Ho-Oh's like the sun, Lugia is like the moon. And indeed, that's its mouth. That's the line underneath its mouth. Now, first its eye. Like that. And then the big pieces coming out from his eye. There's the one from the other side. Big out neck. And now Lugia's wings are really weird in that they're kind of like big giant hands. It's like it's got a thumb. 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. There's just this big body there. And this other wing over here. And it's got a big pattern on its belly, like that. And its legs can be flying behind like that. And its back, it's got those big kind of spike things coming up out of its back. And then whoosh, it's got a big old tail. Boom! Ho-Oh and Lugia. That's just a quick draw. Let's get into the big one. I'm going to start with Ho-Oh because, you know, like a sun and moon. So let's see. Ho-Oh is number 250. And is also the first Pokemon to have a hyphen in its name. Never actually liked the name Ho-Oh. It always annoyed me. It always was like oh, like is it like uh-oh, except it's Ho-Oh, like Ho-Oh. I just thought it was just really clumsy to say. Still to this day, I never liked it. That's my 2 cents. Anyway, let's draw Ho-Oh. So we're going to start with a body. It's fairly circular. It's slightly ovular. It's a slight angle because the neck is going to come out here. And that's going to be one leg and the other leg there. So you can bring... Now the neck, it kind of pinches in, pinches out. Won't worry too much about that for now. But then the head itself is here. And just so we can get the shapes these are. Now, this pose is a trickier one. I thought I'd challenge us. So, the wings... This wing goes up like this. And now, just for handiness, I'm going to bring it right around. So it's right around like that. Obviously, it's made up of feathers, but we'll get there. And we can do a line going out that way too. That'll make sense. Now, the other wing, though, because, you know, a lot of people, you know, when they're doing, like in the previous picture that we did, we would do the wing that way. But because it's at such an angle that it's actually side on, the wing, we're actually catching the wing at a weird angle. We're seeing a little bit of it on this side, but a little bit of it on that side. And it's actually flowing out the back like that. This will make more sense once we actually make the once we actually do the feathers. Now, coming out of its bum, not its actual bum, but like you've got the many feathers of the sun. So they're all converging out of that. You can actually maybe make it a little bit bigger, yeah. But yeah, this is just so we can see where they're coming from in our guidelines, so they're all converging from the same spot. And likewise over here. Alright, there we go. This is a lot to this one. There's a lot to Ho-Oh. Now, we'll draw the legs. So, here again, similar to what we did with Zapdos. Hold on, I'm going to rub out a couple of lines now so you can see a wee bit more clearly. Now, we don't need to see behind it anymore. We don't need to see there. Sure. There we go. So, tad clearer. Similar to what we did with Zapdos. That little kind of triangular foot. And the other one is kind of hidden behind. It's that same thing. Add your wee claws. Oh, is terrifying. It's like it's beautiful, but it's also terrifying. Remember, Ho-Oh famously showed up in the very first episode of the Pokemon anime. And this was like, you know, when they were still saying, you know, 150, barely even 151, even though like Mew is in the opening title sequence. It's literally like the first Pokemon you see. Yeah, at the end of the episode, Ash is lying there. And he sees this dude flying over the rainbow. And he's like, whoa, what is that? And the Pokedex is like, I haven't a clue. Well, that's not a great Pokedex, are you? Okay, so the beak slots on here. Oh, I love drawing beaks like this. Because one of my favorite films growing up was, well, actually two of my favorite films growing up. One was Jurassic Park, and so, you know, if you can draw a bird of prey, you can more or less draw a fairly decent dinosaur. But also, I loved The Dark Crystal, which, amazing film. Jim Henson, Brian Froud. It's wonderful. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It is class. And also, if you haven't seen it, watch the TV series that came out in 2019 on Netflix, Dark Crystal Age of Resistance. It is criminally underwatched. It won a few awards, and it was fantastic. It's just this wonderfully immersive, but like thematically really poignant show, all about like, there's so much in it, like environmental issues, so much. Highly recommend it. In fact, I'm pretty sure on this channel I have a video where I am fawning over it from back in 2019, so maybe go check that out and you'll get a better idea of what I'm on about. I must watch it again, because I watched it. I watched it twice. Anyway, the reason why I was talking about Dark Crystal is because the Skeksis, the twisted creatures in that movie, have those big kind of beaks as well, and so I always loved drawing those. So yeah, so these feathers are similar to what we did with Articuno last week, except they're a wee bit tidier, and also you'll see how, you know, they fan out really nicely. Like there's a much more kind of circular motion to this one, and they really start to no. This multi-layered, and you know what, actually I can even bring the curve of that wing. That's even better. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, Ho-Oh's fun. A lot of fun. Now, speaking of fun, this other wing. Okay. So up here, so this is the top of the upper layer. So this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the upper layer. This bit here, this is the upper layer, this is the lower layer. And so the upper layer we can see here. It's easier when it's colored because this bit's orange and the lower layer is green. But yeah, so this here now that we're seeing is also the upper layer. See how we're using that guideline to just find the edge of these feathers. And so the lower layer, we've got two feathers from the lower layer up here, and then the rest of the lower layer shows up down here. I know, it's mad geometry. Yeah, but that's why we do our pencil lines first, so you can get all of these tricky shapes up and running. There we go. And you can just make these a little bit bigger. Okay, so Ho-Oh. Yeah. Like, it just felt embarrassing saying it. You know, oh, who's your favorite Pokemon? Ho-Oh. Okay. Like, Lugia is a really cool name. It sounds big, it sounds grand. But Ho-oh! I really think they probably could have done better than ho-oh. I know it doesn't help when I say it like that, but still. Yeah, like just those. It's the gay gliding of the beak and the tongue. That's what I like about Pokemon like this, that are, they're beautiful and also scary at the same time. It's like Gyarados. As you see, it tapers in and then tapers out. And look, it kind of rounds in to where it attaches to the rest of the body. And then there's a stripe on the back that we can actually outline a little bit. Why? The eye as well. The eye. No, Pokemon Gold, sadly, was the last Pokemon game. Well, Gold and Silver were the last Pokemon games that I played, because I was kind of like, I'm trying to explain. I became a teenager, and now it's different nowadays that like Pokemon has stood the test of time, but initially there was a bit of Pokemon's for kids, and so like but hey, there's so many adults who are so into Pokemon, but back then, like when it was first out, there was a bit of a stigma. And also, I discovered Lord of the Rings, so I jumped ship onto the Lord of the Rings bandwagon. That and Star Wars. So yeah. And also, I was just kind of like, oh well, those new Pokemon, they're just not as cool as like the original 2 generations. It's like, even at that, like I was calling out the 2 generations, but I mean, I even remember like the challenge of when the there was another 100, and it was kind of like, who do they think they are? Like these Pokemon showing up. It's like there are 150 Pokemon. And I spent so long learning all about each and every one of them, and now you're telling me I have to learn about 100 more. And yeah, it just it got out of my capacity very quickly. But I'm really delighted to be able to revisit and be nostalgic over. Actually, out of curiosity, I want to see, how did I draw Ho-Oh back in the day? Oh, whoops. Yeah, sellotape doesn't last, kids. Huh. That's pretty decent. You can see it's based off that design there, but in mirror image. And Celebi. Yeah, even in Japanese it was Ho-Oh. Because in Japanese it was Celebi. Bangerasu. Yukerasu. Sanagerasu. Suikun Entei. Happiness. Booby. I still can't believe. Straight up called Booby. Yep. Oh well. Not the most controversial thing associated with Jinx, but we'll talk about that when we do the episode where we draw Jinx. And a very specific color scheme. But yeah, Ho-Oh, the rainbow Pokemon. I remember, so if you chose Pokemon Gold, then you would get you could get Ho-Oh first, and you would get it at level 50, and then later in the game you could get Lugia, and Lugia would be at level 70. But then if you had Pokemon Silver, you'd get Lugia first at level 50, and Ho-Oh at level 70. As far as I can remember. I always much preferred Lugia. Like once I actually got, although like I much prefer how this looks, like how the golden cartridge and stuff to the silver cartridge. But yeah, Lugia was my go-to. I just like Lugia reminded me a little bit of Mewtwo, but like a Mewtwo that could fly. I mean, like flat fly, not levitate. I forgot about the stress of going into those battles with the legendaries where you're going in to try and catch them. Oh man, I must actually go back and because I think my copy of Pokemon Yellow is here it is. My copy of Pokemon Yellow. So sad story about that. I'm just chatting away this episode. This is like a live stream. But I was like, you can see what I'm doing. You can see what I'm doing. But yeah, a tragic thing happened where my cousin was over visiting, and he had Pokemon Yellow as well, and that was all well and good. And I was showing him how you could plug it into Pokemon Stadium and all that, and it was all very exciting. And then he left, and he took my copy of Pokemon Yellow and left me with his. And I've seen him once, well, because he's like obviously grown up now, and he lives in America. And I feel like, hey, do you still have my Pokemon Yellow with my save file on it? I don't think so. Probably not. But you never know if you don't ask. You'll never find out. I must ask him now. Say, hey, do you remember? Because like I had Mew on that thing. It was very sad. Yeah, I suppose that was kind of one of the flaws of Pokemon was, at least I found, it didn't have replay value because it only had the one save file. So yeah, sure, you had your save file and you but like you only really got to experience the game once. Now, I mean, I don't know, maybe other people were like, no, John, you just go and reset it and start again. And it's like, yeah, but your collection of Pokemon, like it got to a point where I full on had forgotten when and where I first saw the legendary dogs. And they would just like randomly show up. I never caught them. I could never catch them. I don't think I tried all that hard, but like it was just they'd show up and they'd run away before I could even do anything. And say like it was a whole pile of stats things that I was just like maybe a little bit too lazy to bother learning about. Now for the colour. The beautiful colour. The green. So it's a very subtle green. Which is why I'm doing it is tea green. Which is the same that we used for Articuno's chest. So this one's going to pop a lot more because we're going to use a different colour to shade it with. So each one continues an invisible line across. Beautiful! Give Mandarin a go. I could use a smidge of red. Like a smidge. But it can't actually be red because the red is too dark. So I'm trying to work out what I could add to this. I'm getting flashbacks to a time when a friend of mine got me a colouring book for my birthday. They were like, "Oh, you like to colour?" I'm like, "I colour for my job." I didn't tell her this. And if you're listening to this now, thanks. But yeah, I was just like, I mean, I do this for work. Not that I don't love it, but you know. Let's try bright orange. It certainly is better. Or actually, one time as well, I was getting some counselling, and what do you call it? My counsellor gave me a colouring sheet because funnily enough, actually, we've been talking about Pikachu, and it was we've been talking about Pokemon, and so she actually gave me a sheet. She's like, "Right, you colour that in." And again, I had that same reaction. I was like, "I colour in for my job. It'll stress me out." And she was like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, "No. I'll do something with it. I don't know what yet, but I'll do something." And I ended up doing like a really cool kind of design on it. I can actually post it up. I'll share it. Actually, I'll literally just post it up right here while you're here. Wow. But yeah, no. So it was actually very therapeutic. I was able to work out a lot of my stuff in coloring it. Mental health is very important, folks. If you feel like you need help, go get help. If you feel like you need to chat, go chat. Have conversations about what's going on in your mind. Because if your arm was broken, you wouldn't just be like, "I'll be grand." Gold, definitely. Gold! Always believe in your soul. Like, John, you already did that in another episode. I was like, yep. And I'm probably going to do it every single time I pick up gold, so. Always believe it! Lipstick red for the eye. And definitely I think a cool grey 5 around the eye. I'm actually going to do the actual nails of the talons tea green as well. And the talons, I believe, are going to be slate. Beautiful. Ho-oh. Okay. So this one, we have Lugia. Number 249. Yeah, Lugia is actually behind Ho-Oh. But just wanted to finish off with drawing Lugia because Lugia is far cooler. I said it. He is. They're just so cool. Okay. So, Lugia. Again, kind of classic start. I always tend to start with the body. That's because it's a very good place to start. Also just need to make sure that we have space for the wings. Just about. Yeah, I'm pushing it, but yeah. Okay. The neck. Goes up and then the head. Tail. So the tail again, tail follows the back. Leg. 2 legs. Right. One of Lugia's feet. There, and the other one is the bottom of his foot. There's the heel. And there's the top of his foot. Okay. Lugia is so cool. And then the back, it's little kind of spiny things. Legs can be a bit more streamlined with the back too. It's a very sleek design as Lugia. It's got these big squarey kind of blocky toes. It's quite funny. I suppose it's kind of funny because like all the other legendary birds have have talons, and here's Lugia's these big old padded feet. Right, body, chest has this. You see the way I kind of give it a wee bit of a curve there? That's because the body is round, so it's not just, there's a curve to it. Okay, and a couple of spikes on its tail, but like a stegosaurus. And its wings / hands, it's like hands because it's got a thumb. That's so weird. Big giant hands. Almost looks like those old traditional It's Chinese or Japanese dancers that have these big, massive sleeves. I think they're Chinese. You're pushing it for space, John. But I think I managed to get it to work. Bring it all down just a little bit lower, I think. Okay, and now the face, well, the head. So the head comes up in a horn out the back, and that comes down into a beak, which comes down into a fang like that. And then on the top of that, you've got, again, it's kind of a parallelogram, a bit like what you had on Articuno, except this one, look at that, terrifying. I think I like Lugia too because it's just huge. I love massive Pokemon. I mean, Ho-Oh's big. Not Lugia. It's good, but this head just needs to be a wee bit rounder. It's a bit too long. The size of it's fine. There we go. I would love it when you're drawing something and then you're working on it, and then you see it looking back at you. And like, oh, there's Lugia. And that's what it is there. Yeah, it's just a wee bit too long and not wide enough. And do you know what, actually I think I could even afford. But yeah, no, that's good. Right. Now its head is kind of wanting everything to be bigger now too. I think his feet can be bigger. We'll see how that goes. Right, let's draw some lines. These feet are so weird. And again, it's all of those, oh, he's gonna say it, flow. Those lovely flowy lines that you want. I never saw any of the other Pokemon movies. I know Lugia was the big star of the next one, Pokemon 2000. Oh, that was not one of the fun things in and around the year 2000. Was everyone just loved to name things after 2000 because they were like, oh, it's such a cool futuristic number, 2000. It's like, right, cool. And also, it's not yeah, fair enough, it was released in the year 2000, but I'm actually just going to move that pattern down a wee bit. But it was like, it's not the 2000th movie, so why are you calling it 2000? And you call the Why didn't you just call it the second movie? Because the first one was literally called the first movie. Like, who thought that was a good name for a movie? It's like, oh, it's great because it implies there'll be more. It's like, we all know there'll be more. Don't be so cynical. Even me as a kid kind of saw through it. It was just like, really? The first movie? It's counting your eggs. But in fairness, Pokemon was huge. Like, it really was a phenomenon. Like, I mean, yeah, sure, like, it is huge today, but it's established, you know, and, like, parents now know what Pokemon is because some parents played Pokemon when they were kids, you know, they get it, you know, whereas growing up, it was just like, what is this? Neil Cicierega has a great remix of so it's Jackson 5 I Want You Back, but with all of the news clips from when Pokemon came out and the moral panic that went with it, where, like, you know, they're talking about, you know, kids getting into fights because of Pokemon cards, but, like, you know, yeah, sure, that wasn't great, and like, I literally remember the day Pokemon cards got banned in my school because, like, literally everybody was standing to the side of the yard trading cards. Nobody was actually playing. It was just insane, and the teachers were like, yeah, no more Pokemon cards. I was like, yeah, that's kind of fair. But yeah, it was really funny just listening to them because, like, they're chatting about it being, like, satanic and all this kind of stuff, and it's just like, oh my god, guys, it's a video game. Yeah, fair enough, a highly addictive video game with seriously addictive slogan, gotta catch them all, you know, or it's gotta catch them all, gotta catch them all. It got so good that they ultimately had to drop that term because people had become so obsessed with gotting to catch them all, you know what I mean? But Game Freak were like, but we can't include every single Pokemon in every single game now because there's over 1,000. And people are like, no, we have to have every single Pokemon available. And I'm actually going to leave the highlights, I'm going to leave them plain white. Because, like, technically Lugia is white, but, like, just kind of leaving it just plain white's a bit boring. At the moment, the colors kind of not looking 100% right. I mean, it's not, but once you add the shading, which will kind of show what the color's really supposed to be, and then the blues, because right now the whole thing's missing all of the blues, and it really needs those blues to tie it all together, because the blues are really strong on Lugia. At least I know this will be a perfect color for Mewtwo. Excellent color for Mewtwo. Oh. A little shade on the eye. Okay, so yeah, no, I am happy that I stuck with that color. That's cool. I'm just actually going to go over the belly with just the shade of the belly with cornflower. Just need something. Yeah, that's it there. Yes, there we go. That's where you need to be very careful, because there's a lot of ink in that paper right now. So it could start to decide to spill over. There we go, that's a great job. You know, use China blue to mute that royal blue just a smidge. It's just, I love how it pops, but it's just popping in the wrong way. That's far better. Oh, beautiful. Look at that. Oh, slightly blotty, but anyway, yeah, there we go. Oh, and Lugia. Oh, look at those. They actually look great together. Ah, that's so cool. That's so cool. Okay. Ho-Oh's going in for one more round. Heat up this orange. Yeah, that's the shade that I'm after. Yeah, and because the orange, 2 layers of orange already down, we're still getting the orange shining through. It's not like it's becoming red now. Because lipstick red is a very hollow red. Oh, I'm delighted with that. And it's just like, Ho-Oh's just not popping. Just not popping. Now it's popping. There we go. That's so cool. Oh, I'm delighted with that. Oh, they turned out really well. I'm actually really, really pleased with how Lugia turned out. I was having slight doubts the further I got in. I was like, this is looking very Mewtwo-ish. But once you add in the blues, it pulls it away from looking like Mewtwo. And it mutes this lavender to make it look more of a grey, and also the shade of using grey for shade also helps that. But oh, that's class. I'm delighted with that. I'm so happy with that. Really cool. Right, well, there you go. And now let's get them into our Pokédex. Pokédex. Yeah, there's Pikachu. And Raichu. And oh, there's some birdies. Articuno. Zapdos. Moltres. Pichu. And here's our quick draws as well. I have decided to put them in the back. Yeah. Here we are. Class. I am really pleased with this. I'm really, really pleased with this. Ah, that's so satisfying. Oh, this is one that I'm actually the most happy with out of this whole series so far. I'm really, really pleased with that. I'm really pleased that I got this orange too. But yeah, this is so cool. This is so cool. So there they are, a little Pichu amongst the legendary birds: Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, and Lugia. Oh, class! Oh, I'm delighted. Thanks for watching, folks. I am so pleased with that one. I'm really, really pleased with how the colors in Lugia turned out. They just look, because there was a moment where I had my doubts, where I was like, this is looking very purple, but no, it paid off. It paid off. I trusted my instincts, and I got it. So that was great. If you drew some Pokemon, let me see. I want to see. Send them over to John D. Ruddy on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, wherever, because I want to see what you have drawn. Please consider supporting this channel at patreon.com/John D. Ruddy. It really helps me continue to make these, because I'm not getting paid directly to make these. I'm making these partially for fun, partially to hopefully, there'll be some people out there who'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna pay him some money for these, because these are really good drawing tutorials. Are they not? Oh dear. Anyway, please support. It would be wonderful. And indeed, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the bell icon to find out when I post next. And what we will be doing next week is Magikarp and Gyarados. Yes, Gyarados is one of my favorites. I'm kind of going through. I'm going to need to pace myself with drawing some of my favorites, because I can't draw all of my favorites at the start. Although my dog's battering in the door. Although I love drawing Gyarados, so we're gonna have fun. See you next week.